So I'm here with my mom. She's making a old family recipe. So what's the recipe called, Mom?
We just call it scratch biscuits, cat head biscuits, choke biscuits. It's basically just homemade biscuits.
Okay. Do you have an idea of where it came from? I know Momo used to make it.
Yeah.
Do you know where she learned it?
Yeah.
Or so who'd she learn it from?
She learned it from my grandfather's mother. When my grandmother married my grandfather had grown up so poor that her mother did not have enough extra food around to be able to teach the kids how to cook because she couldn't afford for them to ruin any of it. So she never learned to cook.
Okay.
So when she married my grandpa, his mother, my great-grandmother, Adele St. John.
So my great-great-grandmother.
Your great-great-grandmother.
Okay.
Taught your great-grandmother how to cook these biscuits. And then she taught me how to cook these biscuits.
Okay, and now I'm going to learn.
Yep.
So, you can start making it if you want. So, as Momo taught you how to make it, did you make any alterations? Did Momo make any alterations?
The only alterations that I know of that possibly has been made to the recipe is back when my great-grandmother, which would be your great-great-grandmother, was making these biscuits. They used to render their own lard. When they would slaughter hogs, they would render their own lard, and the lard is what they would put in their biscuits. And we don't render our own lard anymore, and due to allergies, we can't go buy regular lard. So we have to use Crisco.
Okay.
And replace it as a replacement for homemade rendered lard.
Okay.
Also back then the buttermilk was churned.
Yeah.
Buttermilk made here, not from a store.
Okay. So as you make it, like, you can make it, as you make it, like, does it bring back any memories, good memories, sad memories, bad memories?
I remember my grandma getting up every morning before I'd go to school, and she'd make these biscuits for me, and we called them green biscuits. Mm-hmm. A lot of times because we wouldn't cook them until they were brown. We liked them when they were done, but not brown, so we called them green biscuits, like green apple or something's green, it's not ripe yet.
Yeah. I know growing up when we would come down here to visit, Momo, when she was able to, she would make them.
Yes.
And she would make a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Because I adored them.
Yep.
Do you need a spoon or something?
No. This is the way my grandma taught me how to make them. That's the reason that the ingredients are only approximate. If she would have a big bowl and make a well, we called it a well, which is the hole that I made in this flour. Mm-hmm. And she would just take it and start doing this with it, and she'd make her biscuits like that.
Okay. So for that size of bowl, about half full of flour, a little over half maybe. Do you need help opening that?
Yes, please.
There you go.
Alright, and I'm just going to use my hands because that's the way she did it. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to grab some flour.
With the lard in your hand?
With the lard in my hand.
Crisco?
Yes. And what that's going to do is I'm just going to start slowly rubbing like this. And it's going to pick up the little pieces of lard.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll make little lard crumbles.
Okay.
Like this.
Or Crisco crumbles in this
Crisco
case.
crumbles, yep.
Dropped a piece.
And you just keep doing that. until you kind of get it where it looks like this, and then you start rubbing it off your hands, and that's how you disperse the Crisco a lot easier.
Okay. So back to the name, like you said, either choke biscuits or cat head biscuits. Can you explain that?
The choke part comes from, you'll see whenever I get ready to actually make the biscuits out. The choke comes from how you have to pick the dough up. So you pick the dough up like this, and then choke it off your main ball of dough. So that's why they call it choke biscuits, because you have to choke them off.
Okay.
And you call them cat head biscuits because when they're real nice and big, and I haven't made these in a long time.
So perfect opportunity.
If you make them big enough, they have that kind of rounded off triangle shape.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the top of a cat head.
Okay.
So they call them cat head biscuits. They call them choke biscuits.
Okay.
A lot of people just call them plain old homemade biscuits, but
yeah.
I like the old way. So you knead this up until it gets to where it's firm, but where you can really just barely handle it. You don't want it real dry.
Okay.
And it's messy.
Yeah, I can tell.
But I remember my grandma, she'd have flour all over the place. And looks like I'm not going to be any different.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's homemade. It's an old recipe. So, I mean, you got to make it how it was made. Otherwise, it don't taste right.
No.
I know my boyfriend, his mom makes homemade biscuits, but like she uses a big machine to make the dough, and she just don't know how to cook in general, and her biscuits always turn out burnt and hard as a brick. Like you could use them as weapons.
Yeah. Put that back up under there. Now, when your bread gets about like this, where you can kind of pick it up, like that. When your dough's ready, like about to this stage where you can just pick up a whole clump like that, it's probably about ready.
Okay. And so, what do you do with that excess flour?
Well, back in the day, it would just go back in the flour can. But now, you'd take this excess flour, and it's what you would put in your pan to make your gravy with, if you were having biscuits and gravy.
Okay. I mean, we can make the gravy if you want to, so that flour don't go to waste.
It doesn't really matter. We can. I can't eat it.
Well, I mean, we can put it in a Tupperware bowl that you don't mind lended for a second, and I can take it home to Dad.
Yep. All right. So now,
You got it?
I'm going to put some.
I think that's a piece of
That's Crisco. So I'm going to take some of this Crisco.
So just like another small handful.
Now, the way Momo did it, she didn't do it like this, but she had a biscuit pan, and that's all that pan did was cook biscuits.
Was it that big cast iron skillet?
No. And she'd heat it up on the stove first.
I remember her doing that, yeah.
She'd heat it up on the stove so it would make the bottoms crispy. But we're not going to do that.
Yeah. It's already getting hot in here.
Yeah, it's hot.
Because we have the oven set at, what, 450?
Yep. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is make sure that I have flour on my hands loosely. And this is where the choke part comes in. So you pick up a glob and you choke it off.
And then you just roll it into a ball.
Well, you take your hand and you start folding it under.
Okay.
Like this right here. And you fold it under and you fold it until the top gets as smooth as you want it to be. Momo always thought it had to be perfectly smooth. You couldn't have any of these little cracks in it.
She was really OCD about that stuff.
But now you have, there's a biscuit. Put it down in there.
And it's okay if it comes apart kind of like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's not going to come apart. Get some more flour on my hands. Take that raw end and dab it in that flour, and then it don't stick to you.
Yeah.
And then you start rolling them again. We always call this tucking biscuits.
I can see why, because I mean, it just looks like you're tucking it over and over.
Yep. And then a big old round skillet.
Like a big old cast iron one?
These will look like a cat head when they get through, but since I don't have a round skillet to cook in or bake in, these will just be regular biscuits.
Well, I mean, when they rise, a few of them may still look like a cat head.
They might. This one here might, because it's a little bit triangle.
Yeah.
But they get cat head because as they rise in the pan, there's only so much room.
Yeah.
And so it kind of automatically shapes them into the shape of a cat head.
Okay.
But Momo used to never let me make biscuits until I got old enough.
You did that with me on some recipes. I think with Dump Dumps.
Something like that.
I mean, you would let me tear those biscuits apart, but you wouldn't let me anywhere near the stove.
Yeah. Well, she just didn't want me making a mess all over the kitchen.
Fair enough. And unfortunately, now that she's passed, I hate to say it, but now she can't say anything.
Yeah.
And you're 48?
I'm 49.
49. Yeah, because it's... And I mean, with that leftover dough, you can always add more or leftover flour.
Yeah, you can always add more if you need more biscuits or whatever.
Yeah. Looks like we'll need a few
Looks
more.
like we'll make a few more. So I'm gonna dig out my well again. Get a little bit more shortening. A little bit more flour.
So you called Crisco shortening?
Shortening, same thing.
Yeah. Just like in case whoever's watching this doesn't know what the difference is. If they're, well, I mean, obviously there's not a difference, but you know what I mean. She did not cough into the bowl. She
No, I
turned
did
her head.
not. Yes, I did. All right, pour some milk in there.
Okay. Just tell me when to stop.
About right there.
Okay.
Let's see what that looks like.
It sucks that you can't eat these because, like...
Yeah, I can't eat them because of the buttermilk. One more little trick about cleaning your hands up is make sure you get a hold of some clean flour out of your bag. You just want a handful like that. And you just take it and you rub it all over that Crisco and the buttermilk and everything that's stuck to your hands. And you rub it all over it.
And then what you can't get off, you wash off.
What you can't get off, you wash. off the big areas that are hard to wash off. Now to make it a little easier to wash my hands, because it's just a little bit of flour. And so now these will go in the oven.
Okay. Okay, and we will come back in a few minutes and check on them. Mom just cleaning up the mess she made. So, made quite a mess. Turned on the air fryer.
Making homemade biscuits is a messy job.
Yes, I can see, and there's flour on the floor and
Flour down the cabinet.
yeah. So I grew up in South Arkansas. We do things the old way around here. We get our own eggs from chickens. We got some geese, ducks. There's a chicken hiding over there in the barn.
We've got babies.
And we got babies. Baby chickens and ducks. We also have guineas. You putting those boots on makes me think I should have wore different shoes. So the chickens are right behind the house. Part of them anyways.
We raise them in stages.
Okay. So where's the nests?
So we'll go back here with a brooder box. Be careful what there is. It's usually really slick.
It looks slick. So what type of chickens are those? The ones with funny hairstyles and pants?
Those are silkies.
Silkies?
And they were 3 roosters that were just given to us, and we just had to do anything with them.
Okay.
So here's...
Yeah. Almost lost my shoe there in the mud.
Here's our brooder box. Right now we don't have any chickens in here because we have them in the incubator.
So what are these? Ducks?
So
some of them are ducks.
Some of them are ducks. Some of them are turkeys. And some of them are guineas.
Alright, so can you show one of each?
Yes.
This
is a little guinea.
Okay.
They're the ones that makes all the racket in the yard.
Yes. Uncle Marvin, who is my great uncle, he used to have guard guineas. Mm-hmm.
And this is a little turkey. And this is probably going to be a little male.
How can you tell?
Because see that little horn coming up there?
Yeah.
A female's horn is not near as big as a male's.
Alright, do you have a female in here?
I'm not sure.
If you don't, you don't.
See how that one's not as prominent? This is probably going to be a female.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure, but...
There is a way to check, but I doubt the viewer wants to see that. And then, obviously, a little...
This is a goose.
Oh, that's a goose. I thought that was a duck. Okay, yeah, I see the difference in the bills.
Yeah, this is a goose.
And the little yellow one's a duck.
And this is a little duck.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's up, baby? You're okay, I promise.
Yeah, you can see the difference because, I mean, the goose was a little bit bigger and its eyes were bigger. Mm-hmm. So that's where we start our chickens.
Okay. And then as soon as they get old enough to come out of the brooder, then we turn them loose out here in this big pen.
I heard a turkey.
Just walk where I walk so it's not so slick.
Yeah.
When they get big enough, then we turn them loose out here in this pen.
Okay.
And they run around. And I think there's 16 of these small ones out here right now.
Okay. Can they crawl under the house right there?
They can if they wanted to. I don't think that they know how yet.
Fair enough.
So that's where they go next, is they hang out here until one of the grow out pens is available.
So a grow out is pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's where you put them to grow out, put weight on them.
Yeah.
So that you can harvest them.
Okay. So like chicken wings and turkey leg.
Yeah.
Little silkies. One of your silkies almost escaped with me.
Yeah.
And you do have loose chickens.
Yes.
I think I almost slipped on a chicken turd.
Yeah, there comes a bunch of them right there. They hear me out here and they think it's time for food.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. I think we have about 15 or 20 running loose, and we have probably 60 or 80 in various stages of grow out.
Okay. Our family also did logging for a long time. But because, as you can see, Mom is limping and my grandfather is, well, a grandfather. The business has kind of slowed down, and with wood just not being as valuable as it was, not being as valuable as it first was when we first started, we just kind of went out of business. So, goats like to climb the old tractor. So, Milkshake's that brown one, right?
Milkshake is the brown one, and the one on the far left is a retired doe. Her name is Hilda, and that's her last baby standing there on the hood with the horns, the little white one.
With the black stripe?
With the black stripe. His name's Romeo, and that's to be the last one she'll have. And then the brown one that just came out from behind the backhoe, her name is Meth Head because she was rescued from some people who were meth heads, and they had kicked her face in. And the people that rescued her had her jaw repaired surgically at the vet, and so now she is retired here. She doesn't have to do anything except
be a goat.
And Jojo is the white one in the middle, and he was one of the first ones that were born here when we started.
Well, restarted,
yeah. And then Doofus is the one over under the barn. We call him Doofus because he's just dumb. We did raise all of our own goat meat to eat, but when we developed the alpha-gal syndrome from the ticks, we can't eat goat meat anymore.
Yeah. And alpha-gal is where you're allergic to pretty much any mammal,
non-primate mammal or mammal product. Mm-hmm.
So basically you can eat a monkey, but you can't eat a deer.
Right. I don't think I want to eat a monkey.
Dad has.
Ugh. I'm out of it.
So these logs right here, my mom said that they are actually from our land, that they milled up, and they plan on building a barn out of it. So this is
our main breeder pen. This is where we keep ducks that we don't intend to slaughter right now, and geese as well.
And a turkey?
Yeah, we keep Tom down here because he just doesn't, he's not much on letting other men in the yard. So we have to keep him pinned up so he don't attack people.
And which goose was it that likes to sneak up on you?
she's running out around, or he's running out around loose with their new babies. They've got new babies that they've hatched out on their own.
So he is definitely overprotective then.
Yes,
The turkey.
the turkey, whenever too many of the drakes, which is a male duck, when too many of the drakes would go after one female, he would get upset and go beat the drakes off of the female.
Huh.
To protect the female, the duck hens.
Yeah. And they're all just mixed breed.
Yeah, they're all just mixed breeds.
I know that brown one right there. I love how it has like a hat on its head.
Yep. Yeah, we don't raise things by name because I can't eat their name and I can't eat the paper that comes with them.
Fair enough. All right, so that roar, what?
Sounds like a roaring sound or out in the woods.
Yeah. Not sure if the camera can pick it up, but...
Those are cicadas.
Yeah, because there's those two broods that are hatching, and Arkansas is right in the middle of it. Okay.
So these are called Freedom Rangers. And this is where we put the birds at to finish growing out to make chicken nuggets and wings and thigh baskets.
Yummy.
And they stay here until they grow out. We've got another grow out cage on the other side of the barn, but they're the same as these here.
And they're just mixed breed, or?
No, these are called Freedom Rangers.
Freedom Rangers. Yeah, you said that.
Their legs down at the bottom are a lot thicker and a lot bigger than a normal chicken leg.
Yeah.
And these are bred for more meat. They're a meat chicken.
Okay.
But their legs are much thicker than just a regular old chicken that's not made specifically for meat.
Cool. About all this farm equipment, the tractor, the plow.
Yeah. So that tractor right there is an old Ferguson that belonged to a man named John T. Fry.
John T. Fry, okay.
And their family and our family have been here just as long. Our family's been in New Edinburgh since the 1860s, and we've owned the land at the old place since 1895. And we've been on this land that we're standing on since about 1955. And you would be the 5th generation to have lived here.
Yeah.
Because you lived here when you were younger.
Yeah, because I mean, I was born in Warren and lived here till what? I was like 5?
Something like that.
So this implement.
This is an old hay cutter.
Okay.
It's what Pawpaw and Pappy, Pawpaw being your great-great-grandfather and Pappy being your great-grandfather.
Okay.
That's what they used to cut hay with.
And it was pulled by a mule or something?
It was pulled by a mule, and then later I think it was pulled by the old 48 farmall.
Okay.
That we still have.
Still runs too.
Still runs.
Isn't that one Wig? I'm not looking over there. I gotta hang now.
No, that's just the old Pawpaw tractor.
This implement.
This is an old...
Looks like a road grader.
It is. It's an old road grader, and we still use it. It's what we use to keep the roads down to the old place graded out when they get full of ruts and stuff. And we'll hook it to a tractor, and I'll drive the tractor, and my dad will ride back here. So the person doing the grading stands here. On this, and they hold on to these wheels, and it changes the direction of the blade so that we can keep the road graded out. And Pappy fell, got thrown off of it and broke ribs and on it, and then I was driving the tractor and Dad fell off of it, which would be your pawpaw.
Yeah.
Fell off of it and broke his ribs.
Ouch. That wasn't that long ago, was it?
It's In about 15, 20 years.
Oh. And then that lovely thing.
That is an old horse-drawn or mule-drawn hay rake. So after they would cut it with the cutter, the hay cutter back there, then they would rake it.
Okay. And can you tell me about that truck? Is that Pappy's old truck?
That's a 48 Ford 1-ton that my pawpaw,
So my great-great.
your great-great,
There's so many pawpaws in the family.
yep. So he bought that brand new in 1948, and it's what he used to use to haul the, when they were raising cotton here, it's what he used to use to haul his cotton pickers in and out of the fields with. And he dated my grandma in that truck, and when they married and were expecting my dad, they brought him home from the doctor's office in that truck.
Wasn't he almost born in the truck?
I think so.
Yeah.
He was born at the doctor's office down at Warm.
Yeah. I got something crawling on my leg.
How many people are blessed with something like this?
Not many.
No.
Is that Momo's old rascal?
Yes. And that you've had in the family all these years, and
Yeah.
there are not many people that can say that.
True. Just a overview of everything. You don't have to move, Mom. This is just the backyard. Backyard field area.
And this open area is about 10 or 12 acres out of a 63-acre patch that's here.
Out of what, 2,000 acres?
No.
Or is that a
well,
different
the
spot?
The original farm was about 1,200 acres, 1,400 acres maybe. But the part that my dad has after being split down is 363 acres. So this all is 63 acres with about 10 acres, 12 acres of open ground, and then about a mile and a half down the road we have 300 acres. And that was part of the original homestead from 1895.
Nice. We can go down there next if you want. I mean, if I spend the night, I spend the night. I brought extra pants.
Yeah, we'll put you on the cot.
I should have brought my air mattress. See, y'all made a swing out of the Momo's old bed thing. Or whatever that is. Looks like a swing.
No, this is one of my get-ups that I have to do to get up and down off the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because she's limping. She had knee surgery several years ago, and her scar tissue didn't heal quite right. And this is the old smokehouse. So can you explain the smokehouse, Mom?
So back in the day, when we were making biscuits, talking about rendering the lard, after Momo and Papa St. John would slaughter a bunch of hogs, they would hang the meat up in here and smoke it because they didn't have refrigeration.
Yeah.
And now it's a chicken. The chickens use it as a chicken coop.
Yeah, there's a hen up in there. She's got some eggs.
Yeah, she's up in there laying.
Old tractor seat. Storage and makeshift chicken coop. Okay.
This is a luggage rack off the side of an old 23, 24, 25 model truck, when people used to have to put their luggage on the outside of the vehicle and tie it down on the outside because there wasn't enough room on the inside to put your luggage.
Yeah.
This is an old fold-down luggage rack. And when Momo and Papa St. John, which would be your great-great-grandparents, when they married, when they went on their honeymoon, they went camping. And they took this with them, and this is what they used to cook on. This was their rack that they cooked on. And then
Makeshift grill.
And so they build a fire and put this over it, and they get hold their pots and pans. And I use it when I go camping.
Huh. So, I mean, pretty much everything around here has a story.
almost everything has a story. A lot of people think it's just trash,
No.
but there's a history behind most everything here. And we have ways of fixing things here that where we don't actually have to buy a whole lot of stuff to fix things with.
Yeah.
Because there's enough old stuff around here. We can repair our own stuff.
Yeah. And even with alpha gal, I see you still have rabbits.
Yes, these two we're going to keep and probably keep them as breeders for other people.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't eat rabbits anymore.
So bucks, does.
Mm-hmm.
So a buck is a male rabbit, a doe is a female rabbit.
These two
That is a guinea.
are going to slaughter.
Very
See
noisy.
how much smaller that chicken's leg is
Yeah.
compared to the Freedom Rangers?
Yeah.
She's not been bred to be a big meat bird.
Yeah.
See how small theirs are?
Yeah.
Those are our egg layers. They lay eggs.
Okay.
And we probably got eggs over here. That's an olive egg.
That is a big chicken. Hey, where does this wing go to?
Oh, that's where I slaughtered some ducks the other day.
Oh.
And one of the dogs or something got it out of the bucket.
Be a good little trinket.
Alright, I'm looking for eggs.
Do you need a flashlight?
Just watch for snakes because we've killed 2 copperheads in here in the last week.
Lovely.
So the chickens like to lay in the barrels because the dogs can't get their egg, can't steal their eggs.
So you already got 2 eggs out of there. There's 3 in there. You just put them in a
Yeah, just put
feeder.
them in something just to keep from dropping them.
Yeah.
And then back down over here, there's another place they lay at.
You think the biscuits are done?
Oh, you might check them.
So, checking on the biscuits. And they are done. So, in the South, if you don't have a doormat, just scrape it.
Well, you have a boot scraper. You also have a boot scraper.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. You scrape your shoes on it.
This used to be like an old log thing, right?
No, it's a boot scraper. Exactly what it is. It's a...
Find the oven mitts. They are done. And very hot. So, there is the finished biscuits. I'm going to let those lovely beauties cool off, and then I'll come back and eat them. Film then. So they did. Huh?
Don't film my biscuits that I probably haven't cooked in 15 years. You'll film
Well, I mean,
where I jacked them up.
they are jacked up. They're still edible. They're a little overcooked, but they're still going to be edible, and they're still going to be yummy.
There we go. That one broke loose.